start traditionally on top time, which is about 7 minutes late. So I anticipate we will finish 10 to 15 minutes late, but we'll try to hurry it along as fast as possible. First of all, I can't go without saying, what about the venue? This event started in Act 1. We quickly outgrew it. The next year, we crammed them in. The next year, we continued to cram them in, and we said we have to have someplace else to have this event center event. Where can we do it? And the Alva Public Schools and your tax dollars stepped up and said, let's do it in the gymnasium. So we have air conditioning, we have beautiful tables and chairs. Karen Kane, it's my understanding that you can weigh up to 1,500 pounds and the chairs will still be supporting, so we're happy about that. We thank you again, Alva Public Schools, for providing a place for us today. We are here to honor those that are listed in your program and the past recipients. And I think before we enter in any further, I would like for the members of the Alva Educational Foundation to please stand. Alva Educational Foundation, please stand. This event was spawned from that committee, and it has continued to flourish due to much hard work of many. Are there any members here of the Distinguished Goldbug Committee? Would they please all stand? Oh, come on. There were some more here. Let's give them a round of applause. And the person who does all of the work and takes no recognition is Elizabeth Ritchie. Would she please stand? This lady works tirelessly at this event and many others, and she is the reason that we are where we are today. Thank you, Elizabeth. Appreciate that very much. Dr. Tim Argo is going to come and give a few short remarks.
Thank you, Todd, for the introduction. I've waited, Coach Candy, 30 some odd years to not be dumber than a box of rocks. So I got that doctorate, but I still am dumber than a box of rocks, Coach, I can promise you. This is probably the highlight of my career. Get to honor so many distinguished Goldbugs, but especially Coach King. Means a tremendous deal to me personally, all that he did for me. He loved me when he didn't need to, and he kicked me in the rear when I needed it. And I really appreciate everything that he did for me as a young man. The Goldbug Foundation, Mrs. Ritchie, Todd mentioned her. Mrs. Ritchie would just stand one more time because she does a magnificent job preparing this banquet. Meets with me every couple of weeks, and I can't thank her enough for her guidance, counsel, her creativity. She is one of a kind. And if you ever get an opportunity to spend some time with that lady, you will be changed. So thank you, Ms. Ritchie. So thank you again for being here today. This is such a special event. When I look out here and see so many familiar faces, it is really neat to be a Goldbug. Wish I could be a Goldbug, but you can't go back and have to redo. But what a great day, a great event. Welcome back, and most importantly, welcome home. Thank you.
Before we go to the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like for the student ambassadors to please stand where they are to go back. ambassadors. Would you all come out just a little bit, stand so everybody can see you? This is the top of the top. Goldbug ambassadors, they're serving you today. So we appreciate their guidance and their leadership, and we give them a round of applause. We invite Brady Watt to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we invite Elizabeth Ritchie if she would come forward to the invitation. Please remain standing in faith.
Bow with me, please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, for calling us all home, for letting us recognize this class of distinguished Goldbugs, for inspiring our student body. Bless this food to its intended purpose. Bless the hands of those who prepare it. Forgive us for we fail you. In your most precious holy name. Amen.
Okay, so who wants to eat first? Okay, so we have now decided, since I'm left-handed, we're going to start on the far left hand, my left hand. So these two tables, they would start. Everybody else would have a seat. Wait a minute. You're going to be served. Sit down. I forgot. We're going to be served. So we're going to start with that. And then before everybody gets completely finished, we will start the ceremony so we can stay on time and try to keep the ball moving in the right direction. Well, I'm not a fashion coordinator, fashion design guy at all, but if you notice the tie that I have on today, it's not really gold and black in any way. It's some green and vibrant. But so I happen to live in an old house, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, as I was awakened from some reason underneath a bed sheet, because I'm pretty conservative, don't like to run the air conditioner, and there was this bat flying around the ceiling fan. And I don't know how many of you have woken up to a bat flying around the bedroom, but it's a little disturbing. It is interesting to know how intertwined you can get in a bed sheet in order to get out of the door and close the door to figure out then what the next move is because you have a bat in the bedroom. So after taking the bath, I discovered that I had no clothes, no socks, no underwear, and they were all inside the bedroom. If the door was tightly closed, because you certainly wouldn't want to let the bat out in the rest of the house. So a grown man cracks the door to see if the bat's still there, right? What do bats do? They hang on the wall. So the bat was hanging on the wall. That's great. So about 4 trips later, I got everything I needed, with the exception of the top. And so this was the only tie that I could find that was outside the parameters of the bed. So if you want to think of something to be humorous, when you're sitting in some boring meeting, you can think of some grown man running around trying to figure out how to get out of the way of a bat in the middle of the bedroom. So, sorry for the rendition, but that's the reason for the tie. I'll give you about 5 more minutes to get in. We're going to start with the introduction, and we're going to have the recipients come forward, give a small 3 to 5 minute talk about their experience with life and what they're doing. Then we will have the awards portion of the ceremony after that, and then we will try to conclude around the 1 o'clock. Okay? Thank you you all for your patience. The first recipient is Mr. Bill Pearson. We're certainly glad that his older brother Jim was able to accompany him today. So a few tidbits, and I won't do this all the time, so a few tidbits about Mr. Beersmith, that every sport known to man he was in, pretty darn good at it. Were you the first or the second recipient of the Omar Hill Award? One or two. It was amazing, and that's a pretty good deal. All state, all district, amazing athlete. I invite Mr. Beersmith to come and share a little bit. We'd like to limit it to 30 minutes if you could for your speech. That would get us to about 4:30. Mr. Beersmith, thank you.
First of all, can you hear me out there? First of all, I wasn't prepared to do this, so it'll be off the cuff, okay? A lot of memories in this old gym. This is where I had some of my better days as an athlete playing in this gymnasium right here. So to be back, first time I've been back in 6 years. So to be back here, very special. And right across left behind is where the Bugettes sit.
Bugettes, yeah.
Yeah. So, when I talked to the classes today, none of them had heard of the Bugettes, so they didn't know. But anyway, God, thank you. It's an honor to be here as a distinguished Goldbug. I've received a few honors in my professional career of 49 years. But I'll have to tell you, to be recognized by your hometown is top of the list. Being raised on 10th Street in Barnes, going to Washington School, the old junior high, which was the high school at the time in Montpelier, and then coming down here. I really didn't realize what the Alva public schools did to me to live my life. And so I guess what I brought from living in Alva all this time, going to school at OSU, is that when things get tough, you get back up and you go again. And I think that's what Alva instilled in me. I applied for many jobs, got turned down for a lot of jobs, and had some success in doing some jobs in my professional career. 32 years in public ed, 6 years in career tech, and 11 years in higher ed. Not very many professionals have that opportunity to do that. So again, to be back here in this specific place where I was named All-State basketball player in 1963. It was very special. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to come back. And I've enjoyed every bit of it. I don't know if I'm going to like the parade or not, but we'll kind of go from there and see that later. Thank you. And both thank you for having me.
So it's a bit of a mental surprise that everybody gets to speak today, because we were afraid that if we told you that you had to speak, you wouldn't show up. We wanted you to show up, so we wanted to hear what you had to say just a little bit about it. So our next recipient is Butch, or Ron Holt. And Mr. Holt, like Mr. Beersmith, was an amazing athlete. And if you don't know that, you can look through a yearbook and see his name was mentioned many, many times yeah, within the yearbook. And I'm going to give you just a little bit. His daughter's going to come speak just for a moment about him. But I would like to tell you that there was 27 organizations that were going on when Butch graduated, or when he was in high school here. We had band, we had orchestra, girls' league, boys' league, mixed choir, 2 major productions in the auditorium, and they were big plays, believe me. YT Ski Club, Bugettes. Who still has a Bugette uniform?
I don't have it,
Seriously.
okay?
I got 2 that are hanging in my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, one Susie's, one Sally's, right? So I've got those. I think I need them. FHA, FFA, Physical Science Club, Biology Club, Photography Club, T&I Club. Who knows what a T&I Club is?
Right in.
Wrong. Stuco, Student Council, and Yearbooks. Just a few of them. That's absolutely amazing. Now, by the way, the answer to the trivia question, there are 3 people that cannot speak of food, if we ever had a national food. Did we or did we not ever have a national teacher?
Yes.
Yes. And
Mr. Donnelly.
that's right. Edna Donnelly, the teacher of the year in 1959, and Tommy Kaufman was there to pin the corsage on her. To my knowledge, that is the only national teacher of the year that Alva Public Schools has ever produced. That's pretty cool that we at least have one, right? The next trivia question, do not share this with the youth ambassadors, but you guys need to know when the facility that we're in now was built and dedicated. Do not tell folks, those that are older than I am, that know what that is. I'd like to invite Ms. Beth Nix to come up and give a few remarks about that.
Good afternoon. Can y'all hear me okay? As you know, this is my brother Rick and my brother Doug over there. And we are representing our father Butch, as most of Alva knows him. First of all, I want to say thank you to the Goldbug Foundation for doing this wonderful honor. We are just blown away. We've been blown away by the hospitality of the people here in Alva. I mean, starting when we were kids, but it's just the same now. We come back. Always people, completely golden people. I also want to thank Matt Rhodes for telling us about and thinking about Dad and all that he did to help get the ball rolling on this. We really, really appreciate it. And I want to say special thanks to Lakin, Daddy, for being our ambassador and tour guide today. She is, where are you? There she is. She's quite an accomplished and Texas young woman, and we really appreciate her taking us through today. So Dad was a class of 59, and he lettered in basketball, football, and baseball. And I told the students today, with a side note, he also played in the band. He played trumpet. And he played for us a few times, and he was not good. That was not what it sounded like. And he said he would actually, when they would march, he would fake the hard parts. He would just move his fingers. But he really enjoyed going on all the trips and hanging out with his friends, so that's why he did that. He was kind of a rascal. He loved Alva, and we would come home and visit often. And every time he would take us each out at different times and just show us different parts of the town. But I always remember he would take me around town, he'd walk around and show me the elementary school or the tree where he asked a girl to be his girlfriend, or some of the fun shenanigans he got into where he played pickup baseball on weekends. He had a paper route here in town, which I'm sure many of you also did, and worked at the gas station, pumping gas, and cleaning people's windshields when they drove up. So he loved that. He ended up going to Northwestern on a basketball scholarship and played a little ball there and got his degree in accounting and went on to be a CPA. And then kept continuing to become a financial advisor. So as I told some of the students today, you just never know where one door opens and you go, and it opens another door, and you never know where you're going to end up. But all of his hard work and his roots came here from Alva, Oklahoma, and that's when he attributed his strong faith and his desire to be involved in his church came from here in his hometown, and his work ethic too.
We've covered everything. And I just wanted to say thanks to everyone, especially Matt and everybody else in the committee for all that you've done. And I just wanted to let you guys know that, the things my dad instilled in me, I'm the oldest, by the way, and the oldest of the whole family line now, and the last one to be born in Alva, which the hospital is now a museum. So that's good. So, anyway, I just want special thanks to everybody and let everybody know that, the values that you all instilled in my dad carried on from all of us. And I'm thankful for that. This is my hometown too. I know I don't know many of you anymore, but I love you. And thank you.
So those of you who don't know what happens in the morning, that happened this morning, that happens every year at this time, is that the recipients get to spend time with the students at the high school. A couple of 3 hours maybe, and visit some individuals, share some ideas, share some thoughts, share some comments about life and what they can look forward to. That's when the real meat of this whole program is. We're here with the fluff, we're here to recognize, we're here to show what goes on, those kind of things. But the real crux of the meaning behind this whole program is to instill something for these kids to look for. And to know that you can graduate from Alva High School and be somebody, go somewhere, and do something. So for those of you who talked to students this morning or have taught to students in the past, we appreciate that. Understand that you are providing them with some leadership and some knowledge of things that they wouldn't have ever seen before. So we thank you for that. Our next recipient, I have a lot of stories about this young man. I'm not even, are you old enough to graduate college yet? Grace, where are you? I'm not sure. I have got so many stories, and I was just trying to figure out which one that I should tell. And then I thought maybe it wouldn't be appropriate for me to tell any, because they might not be exactly. So, Grayson Starbuck, Dr. Grayson Starbuck is graduated with our youngest son, Andrew, and they remain to be true friends at this day. With no more, I will tell the stories, Grayson. Dr. Grayson Starbuck.
Thank you, Todd. I'm going to yell at my visitors to try to find a happy meeting. All right, so it's how ironic is it that I'm up here? I am honored to be a part of this list of amazing people. Really strange. Very thankful, very grateful. Yeah, looking back on it, obviously in hindsight, like being here was the best thing that could have happened. The community of people that really cared about me. A lot of mistakes made, but a lot of mistakes, most of the mistakes. But the cool thing about being in a community of people that care about you is that those are good things. You get people that are with you to help you learn from them, to grow. And man, a lot of memories here. I've been here a long time, and you're super gracious. I don't want to. Mr. Myers around. Anybody here to stand up with me? Good. Excellent. And even the little things, you see in the lockers, how they're positioned, the doors. I looked at Mr. Brock's closet, the cook cans next to the ceiling aren't there anymore. So that's sad. But it's just, Alva is just such a unique place. And maybe everyone says that about their hometown, but I just don't know how things would have been without my community around me. So I'm thankful to be here. And happy to be Goldbug. So thanks a lot.
stories that we will share. So I think that the next recipient really doesn't need a lot of introduction. It was an Alvanite, even though Beaver might be his original home, but we call him an Alvanite and Goldbug forever. And I think before he comes, can anybody come up with phrases that might have come out of Iredale's coach Campbell's mouth that maybe we haven't heard? Anybody got one? Just go ahead and yell it out. Yes, Doc.
Holy crow, fire!
Is there another? Well, get your head out of your duffel bag was a staple. Are there any more? Oh, come on. There's thousands. Yes.
Well, I mean, he did grab a hold of J.J. Riggins one time and said, "Come on, Kentucky Fried Chicken." And anybody that knows, the Rigginses ran the Kentucky Fried Chicken down on the square, so we all thought that was comical.
No, none of those. Oh, come on.
Everybody had a nickname.
What?
Everybody had a nickname.
Yeah, there wasn't any question about that. And Dr. Campbell, what would your nickname have been?
I had several. Depends on how well I played.
Iredale Campbell, we welcome, please.
I'm really afraid to really say anything. Every time I would say something, someone would come, I remember that story. So I guess to me where I need to start is I would like for a lady at the table back here to stand up, and I call her my wife. I'd like for her to stand up.
Yay!
It is because of this lady that I'm here today, speaking to you. Because I was coming to Alva to play football, Big Art Parker. I gave me a football scholarship. And so when I showed up, they were going to have a hayrack ride. And then you need to have a date for the hayrack ride, so the kids would tell us. So I know we were walking down there, there were two good-looking twins walking down the street. And I just knew that they neither one of them would go with me. And they said, well, that's one of those girls right there. So I said, would you girls like to go to a hayrack ride? And she raised her hand and said, yes, I would. So as a result of that first date, I wound up marrying her in 1966. And so it's because of her that I went ahead and stayed and came to Northwestern. I came to Alva. I came here and started teaching in 1966. It was really a blessing for me and for me. And I'm very honored to be a part of this. And as I look out through here and look at the people sitting at this table, I can see so many stories, so many things that have happened over the years that has really made my life outstanding. The feelings that I have for the Goldbugs, for Alva, Oklahoma, will never be covered up by any other place or any other thing. And I'm glad to be here, and I thank you very much for asking me to come. Thank you.
Iredale mentioned his wife, so the twins that you were talking about, one of them married Iredale and the other one married Mr. Bill Beersmith. And Vicky was football queen, is that correct, during the senior year? And Kay was Miss Alva during that same year. That's pretty good. So if you had coached or had class under Iredale Campbell, would you please stand? Pretty wide representation. Our next recipient, Bobby, who shouldn't be as old as he is either, by the way. There's just no way. Bobby Jacob, I'd like for him to come forward. The accomplishments that this young man has made in life are absolutely amazing. Started out in ROTC and never got out of the military as far as I can see. Really happy to introduce Bobby Jacob.
All right, I think it's still good morning. So good morning all. I'm going to start off and do a public apology to John Todd Holder. So some 45 plus years ago, Alva used to have this Alva Hot Dog Ski Club, snow skiing. Remember that? And now that I've had kids and they've grown up and we've taken them on trips, but one morning we were up in Breckenridge and we were getting ready to go to Vail, Colorado, to go snow skiing one morning. And I jumped in the back of Todd's probably Jeep Suburban at that time, and we got there, and lo and behold, I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was a little nauseous, and I threw up in his vehicle. Of course, Todd, I was too young, and I was probably 13, 14, maybe younger than that, and I don't think I really apologized to him at that time. You guys have grown up and have kids, and when that happens in your vehicle, and so I want to be really responsible. I'm sorry, Todd, for doing that. I think that was the first day that I threw him off his game. He probably fell snow skiing 2 or 3 times that day. Because Todd never, if you knew, he never fell when he was snow skiing or fall down or anything. So, but hey, I am grateful for this. I'm very humble. Graduated in 1982, did a lot of sports. Went in, actually I got into the Army National Guard when I was a junior here in high school. Did a delayed program, of course finished off high school. Went to Northwestern up here, played 1 year of basketball, and then transferred to Oklahoma State. Got into a fraternity over there. My grades probably went down. That showed on those fraternity and hanging around with all the sorority folks. And when I graduated out of college in '86, I also got my commission out of the same organization that Beer Beersmith worked at the Oklahoma Military Academy. And then I went on active duty. My first job assignment in 1986, I was in the Pentagon. So, boy, I thought I was something. I mean, I was a second lieutenant working in the Pentagon. Most folks that came to me gave me these little things saying the only thing you know what to do is when you go to the men's restroom. And, yep, so I kind of grew up to that. I really gained respect in that when my wife became a speechwriter for Chief of Staff of the Army. She speech wrote for two Chief of Staff of the Army. And so then when people heard that and I was a second lieutenant, they started giving me a lot more respect, and that just kind of worked on up pretty good. So I did meet a ton of folks that have been in Department of Defense's senior leadership. I still get to work with them now after, that was 45 years ago, 1986, and started doing that, and now I'm still kind of working with very senior folks up in D.C. My time here in Alva was great. No doubt I spent 4 years in playing in this and did as all I could do. But I will say, where's the principal at? Where's Dr. Arnold? He was sitting around somewhere. Oh, there he is. So, I'm glad that my sister and brother-in-law retired and my mom and dad are still working, because now they're the weak link of the family. I'm still working. So, yeah, so when I tell you, Mr. Argo, when I get ready to retire, I want to tell you so you can stop hiring my mom or dad to come in and substitute teach, because they've been doing that for years. So, but yeah, Diane and Mike, you guys got to work through that yourself, because they both retired, one a few years ago and my sister this year. But yeah, this just gymnasium was pretty interesting. It was more or less my babysitter. My dad, as much as he coached up here, and when I got out of either graduated or was still in Lincoln, Long Legs, or Washington Washed Up, if you guys know those a lot, that those feel those terms. I never was a long leg because I graduated to that program. I had that all taken care of. But I would come up here and just hang out. This infamous wall right here, slope going up to the high school. My God, I probably have spent 15 years just hanging out and watching people walking up and down that slope. And I hung out in all of this stuff back over in the old football locker rooms. If a lot of you guys know what that used to look like before the facilities that they got now. So this was home. I spent a ton of time here and enjoyed it. And hey, I'm glad for the honor. Appreciate being in this distinguished group now. And yeah, heck, now I got a reason really to come back home other than see my mom and dad. So I appreciate everything and thank you very much.
That was a portion of that trip that I did not remember. I did remember going to Vail and with your granddad on that trip. The next recipient needs no introduction because typically she talks loud enough that everybody knows she's in the room or in the building, maybe even in the town.
Yes, I do.
So there are many stories that I could tell on her as well that I will choose not to. One very small thing that I will tell you, her representation of Northwest Oklahoma in this community never stops. 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. She's a Goldbug, she's a ranger, but more importantly, she is all about Alva. The bracelets that are adorning around your tables today are not a product of anything that Alva Educational Foundation has done. Those are a product of Karen Kane because she encourages anybody she sees, especially kids. Karen Kane.
I started to bring big three-ring binder like this big and just tell Todd, see if they'll hold it for it. A few things I need to say. Thank you. What do you say? When you see those pictures come up, I look pretty good in those younger days, kids. Just remember, we all get older, so. But thank you. I always think of, I have to tell you that I'm being recognized today as humanitarian. John, brother, I don't think I even knew what a humanitarian was when I was in Mrs. Nichols' English class. But I will tell you, when I think of humanitarian, I think of Mother Teresa. I think of Mahatma Gandhi. I think of Leanne Gaddis, Russell Gaddis, who was in class of 76, my class, who was awarded that last year. Well, I'm not any of those. So I wasn't a little sure. I'm a little concerned about the Alva Educational Foundation because I was fearful the bucket numbers would get a little low, Mrs. Ritchie, on who you had to select. And when I was called this summer and was awarded this privilege, Dr. Kay Decker had the privilege, or not privilege, of calling me. And she starts in, and if you know Kay Decker gets on a roll. And Kay Decker's kind of like the rest of us on Goldbug. She just goes and goes and goes. And she said, we're honored if you would be one of the humanitarian distinguished Goldbugs. And she goes on, I said, Kay. Yes, Karen. I said, could you back up? I said, waterborne? And she said, humanitarian. And I have to say, in my life, I want everybody to just look around the room. In fact, just stand up. Everybody stand up. Sit there for a while. Stand up and look around the room. Look around the room. Look at me. I'm standing still. Everybody looks around the room. You're who made me who I am. So congratulate yourselves. I will congratulate. I think as teachers, as many as Alva Educational Foundation, I'd like to thank my twin sister Kathy for coming today. If you think one's bad, you should have two of the Bishop girls. I don't know about how the Kaufman girls were in school, but I'm sure when they saw the Bishop girls coming, they said, I have her third record. No, I'm not taking her again. They always take Kathy. The little chatty box Karen, they weren't sure what to do with. So, but I think back of all the teachers in Alva Public Schools, that God bless them. high school students, tried to correct me and tried to make me a better person. And I didn't listen very well because I knew everything. And I knew what it took to be a grown-up. No, I did not. But they invested their time. All those times I got called into the hall and they gave me that special talk. You guys ever get that? You guys are laughing. You got it too, didn't you? You know, I told a group of kids this morning, it takes a special teacher to take the time to do that. I have taught 44 years. Thank you. I've been pretty good for someone who's taught school for 44 years, don't I? And I have been blessed by every student who's walked through the doors. If you don't think that they taught me something when I started, live in 2023. They're teaching me things today. So I'm appreciative of everything that I've been blessed with. My middle brother Bill made it. I'm not going to allow him to come up front because he probably got picked on more than anybody, and he really has some terrible stories. I did ask you, and I put in front of all the tables a bracelet. And in closing, my thoughts are this. I am who I am because of you. I'm no special. We played basketball in this gym, Lady Bugs. I think we won 2 games the whole season. Sometimes this gym doesn't bring back as many fond memories sometimes when you're losing a basketball game. But what memories? And no one's mentioned, we talked about Bugettes, but my sister and I spent many a time right over there with the pet. And the pet band has safety. Let's hear it for Damson. And we worked for Danny Rock, Lowell Briggs. Everybody's got stories. You know, as much as I like school, I like the fun stuff. Sorry, English, math, science, and history, I didn't like it too much. I came to school for basketball and tennis and band and lunch and student council and all those kind of good fun things. But I want to thank everybody in this room. Because if I'm successful, it means the city of Alva, Oklahoma did a really good job. Along with my parents, maybe my sister, maybe my brothers, but I thank you. And I will close with this, because this is Todd Holders and my honest goodness, and that's what God. You're like you me. I live in Alva, Oklahoma.
That might be the shortest speech she's ever given.
It might be.
So
I have more.
the new recipients can't tell the story, but anybody recognize this bumper sticker? Anybody know where it originated? So it didn't originate in Karen and I's area. It did originate with 2 educators, Mr. Lee Haley and Mr. Dorwood Brown. And they were traveling and decided that they were proud of where they lived. Now, whether they were that excited about Alva, or whether they just wanted to be able to figure out where the other one was if they were traveling together, I don't know. But they started it, we're continuing it. Lucky me, we live in Alva, Oklahoma. We want some of those. See, Karen and I, we got plenty of stickers. Okay, enough about that. They're only $4.95 a piece, so funding my retirement. The next recipient is Trevor Meyer. As most all the recipients, with Karen being the exception, were exceptional athletes that have been honored today. Karen didn't fit in that bag. We're okay with that, but she did. Trevor was a phenomenal athlete, and just a very few part of the things that he has done is to scored over 1,000 points in his career. All-state, all-conference, all-state, all-conference, state qualifier, unbelievable athlete. It's an honor to have Mr. Trevor Meyer. Please come.
very much. This thing's been fantastic. I mean, everything we've done to start to finish has been top notch. I'm humbled and I'm honored to accept this award. I want to thank Elizabeth Ritchie and the Goldbug Foundation for everything they've done. They exemplify what the Goldbug represents, and that's excellence. The preparation, the hard work, everything they've done has been fantastic, and I've just been blown away. So I'm truly thankful, and I really do appreciate it. Now, I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I do want to thank a lot of people that not only shaped my athletic career, but also my life. That starts with my parents, Mike and Joy Meyer. The time, the effort, and the support is unmatched. Our grandpa Nick is here. Our grandma LeBon's no longer with us, but all of the time they spent driving from Enid to support Tyler and I in every school event, athletic event. It's special. I do want to thank my Dodie and Grandpa Wiener. They've been passed away for many years now, but growing up in this town, having your grandparents down the road, all the time we spent at their house and all the time they spent chasing Tyler and Taylor and myself around, it's special. I want to thank my brother Tyler Meyer. As kids, as adults, we are very close. But as kids, not so much. I was an annoying, arrogant younger brother, and he was a 15-year-old beast. So I owe some of my shiftiness and toughness to him, because when I would pester him to the point where he would get mad, you better be tough and you better run in a zigzag formation, because he's coming and he's usually pissed. So I'm excited. My wife, Kinsey, can be here. My two kids, Timmy and Kellen. I tell them stories all the time about what it was like growing up in Alva. And myself and a lot of my friends, we got our start playing for the Alva Cardinals and a guy named Chad Marshall. We learned at a very young age what it took to win, and that was to work extremely hard. There was a number of guys that were fortunate to have that to start our careers. We had a number of fantastic teachers and coaches. That started in 7th and 8th grade with Coach Coley and Coach Leatherstone. Also, when I was in 7th grade, I had an opportunity from a guy named Coach Jim Eaton. Took me to high school basketball camp in between my 7th and 8th grade year. I'm thankful. I'm thankful he believed in me and he wanted us to be better. Now, I think I came home with most of my underwear ripped from all the wedgies, but I deserved all of them, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I want to thank Coach Watkins, Coach Schultz, Coach Habib. We also had a helper the one year I was playing football, and fortunately for us, it was Hall of Fame coach Steve Loman. And in our minds, he was no helper. He was Coach Loman, and he showed up every day. And he did that because he loves the Goldbugs. Now, I only played football for 1 year, but it was an unbelievable experience. There's nothing like running down that tunnel with all these people here to support you. Now, it gives me goosebumps when I'm thinking about it just now, but some people back in the day, they would have said I was a little arrogant and cocky, and they were probably right. But when I did decide to play football, I walked into Coach Watkins' office, and I said, Coach Watkins, I want to come out to football this year, but I don't want to waste my time. I expect to come out and play. And he kind of swerved and turned around and said, oh, okay, Trevor, we'll just show up for summer workouts and we'll just see how that goes. Well, fast forward to the first game of the year. I'm playing free safety. I'm playing on the punt team. I'm playing on the kick team. And I'm kind of switching out at wide receiver. Well, if you fast forward to week 3, I'm doing all those things, and I'm returning punts and I'm returning kicks. And I was not doing those things because I'm fast. I was doing it because I could catch the ball a little bit. And then on the punt team, the best thing I did was immediately when the punter punted it, they would yell Peter, and I would run away. So the best quality for me was stand out there, run away, get the ball, let Tyler run it down the field. Moving on to some other coaches, Steve Sheever, Coach Eric Schultz, Playing basketball with these two guys was awesome. Coach Sheaver, he was tough but fair, and he always challenged us. I didn't really understand it back in the day, but he was always trying to hurt me and get me going. I was a little bit too lax. My senior year, we were playing this team called Pawnee. They had a guy named Pat Moore. Pat Moore was really good. And in my mind, I was going to guard Pat Moore. Pat Moore was going to guard me, and we were going to go at it. Well, Schultz and Sheaver, they pulled me into the office. They say, hey, we don't think you can guard Pat Moore, especially without hitting his foul goals. We're going to put Tyler Thompson on him. And believe me, Tyler Thompson was more than capable. Dude could play some basketball, but it used to make me so mad. And they let it fester for a couple days. When we go play Pawnee, Tyler starts out on him, but about 2 minutes into the game, I'm on him, and we came out and we kicked those guys' butts. I get the opportunity to see Coach Sheaver and Coach Schultz on occasion, and they'll be like, hey, we tell you all kinds of stuff to try to get you going. But it's guys like that that help you get to another level, not only in your athletic career, but also in your life. And Coach Sheaver's here today. Thankful that he made it. It's awesome. Now, I'm about to wrap this up, but I also want to thank my friends and my teammates. All the time that you spend with your parents and your coaches, you know, a lot of the time is spent with your friends and your teammates. And we had the best times. Still to this day, most of the people I spend time with, besides at work or with my family, are Goldbugs. Elliot Sutter, Austin Keeney, Steve Tanner, Sage Ernest, Damon Sherrill, our class's honorary Goldbug, Jamie Ross, and my brother. This town, the school system, the people here, they're special. They won't expect to win, but support no matter what the record is. I've had the opportunity to wear a number of teams across my chest. When I was playing AAU, I was a Trotter. I was a Tulsa Golden Hurricane, an OCU Star, but I've never been more proud or had more fun than when I was an Alva Goldbug. Thank you very much.
Okay, we are going to ask Matt McAlpin to come, if he will, and give us a little education about Alva Education Foundation. He's here, right? Matt. There he is. We knew he was getting up here. He's going to come talk to us a little bit about Alva Education Foundation. Thanks, Matt.
First thing they're taught is Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did that
You're
wrong.
talking about my brother.
I apologize.
So, I'd say, first of all, let's give a round of applause again to all these recipients. Excellent. I do have one tale to tell about Mr. Campbell, Coach Campbell. I shared it with him earlier when I met him when he walked in. I'll share it with the rest of you. He has the honor of being the last individual to ever paddle my behind. We were in the old middle school, where the middle school is now, the old junior high, and Wayne Hofer, if anyone ever knew Wayne Hofer, he was a husky kid. Mr. Campbell lifted him up off the floor with that paddle. So that's my story on Mr. Campbell. I am president of the Goldbug Foundation. We've got a lot of our members here today. If they would really quickly stand up, please. Thank you, Tom. We have 9 active members, and they are all very dedicated to this. And to show the dedication, I'm going to share just some figures that we've got really quickly. Right now, our invested funds balance is $1,258,000, which is significant. Of that, we have $37,740 that's available to us. That is divided up with scholarships, and that is $29,270. We have elementary and secondary mini grants, which is $5,845. Our technology is 2,625. We have 16 endowed scholarships. And when this foundation was started back in the late 80s by Beverly Kinsey, the whole goal was to give teachers extra money to do things in the classroom that they weren't able to do with the funds that were available. To just give you an example of that, in the last 10 years, every applicant that we have had for our mini grants, we have been able to award. Thank you guys for that. That shows the dedication of Alva and all of the people that you see here are resulting in that. Now, another thing here, what we do is we do different events during the year. We do have what we call that could be important. Okay, we have Going for Goldbugs. We do a trap shoot. We have our thankathon, and of course, this event here to honor past Goldbugs. One of the things here that I'm going to share now is really a result of what we do, and it is a letter that we got just to thank the foundation, and this shows the generosity of Alva and all of its people. It comes from Miss Carmen Andrews for her son, and it is. She says, I'm writing this letter to you to thank you for your continued support of scholarships for Alva High School seniors. My son, Nathan Andrews, graduated this last May. He was the recipient of Dr. Austin Quinn Falk Scholarship, and he was very excited to apply for this scholarship. We were extremely surprised when it was announced that he was awarded this scholarship. Nathan is currently attending Oklahoma State University and double majoring in aerospace engineering and mechanical engineering. His goal is to work for NASA in rocket propulsion and apply for the astronaut program. I have no doubt that he will accomplish his goals. With your generosity to help students like my son, you are helping graduating seniors to accomplish their goals. You are helping these students pay for college, VOTEC, or their professional license. With the scholarships that the foundation provides, the financial cost for these students is lessened. For my son, this scholarship literally paid the final expenses for his first year without him having to work or take out student loans. Thank you again for the generosity and donations to the Goldbug Education Foundation. So that comes from all of the people that are in this room. So as has been said by several others in here, I think we all, if we have lived here long enough, have something nice to say about this community, the people within it, and so on. And on behalf of the Goldbug Foundation, I want to say that we are very proud and honored to be a part of this. Thank you.
Okay, everybody stand up, just for a second. Stretch. We're almost finished. Sit back down, please. Go about and get a master's. The answer to the trivia question is? That's it? You don't know?
I do.
Who can tell me what year this building was built?
1959.
7. Oh, don't know for sure. I was relatively sure it's 57. That was way before I was born. Okay, 56. There may be a winner. So, 1956. Okay, so I'm going to ask the recipients to come one at a time. I'll call your name, and then they're going to be honored and adorned with the Goldbug medal by a recipient that has received it in the past. So if I can have it this time, Mr. Bill Beerschmidt and Mark McDaniel. And I'm going to have Mr. Grossman come, and we're going to do this only once, but I want him to open and see what's inside and have him share, so that we won't do this with everyone. So we were able this year, we used to supply the Goldbugs with throws. This year we had the opportunity to have their name engraved and a little bit better emblem made. So all the recipients received that.
There's a couple of things that I need to say. First of all, Tom's dad and mom were Kay and Vicki and our Sunday school teacher that went to church. Now, what that did any good for us tonight, I don't know. Of course, Coach stayed with Tom and Brenda when he was going to school. So we go way back, and it's great to see him again. And finally, Todd, your dad, when I was in high school, through Sheriff Memorial Fund, allowed me to have a $500 scholarship and everything. I was going to school. So I wanted to tell you, thank you.
Okay, the family that's going to receive for Mr. Holt, if you all would come, and Warren Little. You all can come.
There you go.
I have a few things written down, and there never was a more fun guy to be around than Butch Holt. He was a real athlete, honest, just everybody wanted to be around him wherever he was. And those three right there are very fortunate to have Butch for a father.
So the recipients will also receive a yard sign that is up in the front. They are nice and heavy, so when you leave, we'd like for you to take one with you. You might have your children carry them there heavy. The next recipient is Dr. Grayson Starbuck and John Brothers. Iredell Coach Campbell will come, and Ramona Thomas. Next recipient is Ms. Karen Kane. She will be adored by Dr. Peggy with decided we didn't want Karen to have a medal, so we took it back from her. But, so we had a little supply chain shortage, but believe me, everybody will get their medal. If we can have Trevor Meyer come back, and he'll be adorned by Dr. Michael Meyer. Yeah, I want everyone to know that it's 1:09. We were to be finished by 1:15. Go team, we did it! There's a couple of things that are going to happen. No, Karen, you have more to say. So the Alva Goldbug Band of Gold is going to be coming through shortly. We're all going to sing the fight song. In case you have forgotten the words, I think most of them are on the program. You can look inside. I'm not sure that's the right word, but that's the ones we'll use today. And then everybody's invited downtown for the parade that will be at 2 o'clock. We want you to mingle a little bit. Please talk to the people that have come and represented. What will happen to the recipients or the past recipients, and sometime in the next 6 months, you will be invited to come on a Zoom call with our committee. I'm only one member of the committee. I made an executive decision this is going to happen. So we're going to invite you on a Zoom call to talk about this event and how we might be able to make it better. We know that we can't get everybody on one call, but we have to try. We want this to be continued. We want it to be a good experience. We want it most of all for you to share back with our students, to give them some inspiration and know what they might be able to do with their lives. So be ready for that. Mrs. Richard will be emailing you for time slots. Is the band here? Come on in. Yeah! Come on in. Thank you all for coming.